unscathed by the flames, risen like the phoenix. I mean it, so fuck it. I mean it, oh, I mean it, I mean it, oh, fuck it. For my bitch, so fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, bitch, so fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, bitch, so fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, bitch, so fuck it. Podcast bitches, Batman 503 and I'm out. Take it away, Soph.
Hello and welcome back to the Sophuckit podcast, where real talk gets raw, the vibes stay unfiltered, and we break down the walls that keep some people quiet. I am your host, Soph, and tonight we're diving deep into something that hits from home. And a lot of us, have these relationship views that we're just unsure about, especially when it comes to sex work and harm reduction, or as harm reduction, rather. This episode isn't about judgment. I want you guys to keep an open mind during this episode. Some of the topics that we talk about tonight are going to be a little controversial. I understand that a lot of people out there are going to have mixed feelings. However, try to keep an open mind and try to be understanding. Buckle up and remember, around here we don't sugarcoat it. We fuck it. Today I have Roxi and I have Awfully. And let's go ahead and dive in. Awfully, I heard that you can rap. Spit us a little rap if you want.
Little rap here. Is it me, or has the world gone mad, full of violent little boys and little girls gone bad? Fuck it, get it on camera, put it on the internet and dip to Havana. Make your paper, keep hustling harder, everybody that you hurt ain't nothing to bother. Fuck honor, keep stuffing your dollars, just remember every stripper is somebody's daughter. Women need love, men fiend for respect, and that's a real source of all the aggravation. So instead, we shoot each other up and have sex, just searching for some form of adulation. No imagination, but on days like this, it kind of makes you wish that we had a magic spaceship. But hey, y'all, it's home, though it's a mad, mad globe. Just note that I'm on a path to change it.
Oh, wow. That was really good. I have met a lot of talented people ever since season 2. Holy cow. Like, I don't know what it is with you guys in music, but y'all got something. Great job. After the show, towards the end, we will get you to play a little something something for us. How's that?
Sounds great.
We have Roxi. Hello, Roxi. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing okay.
I want to talk about sex work. You are in sex work and harm reduction, sex work as harm reduction. Tell me a little bit about that.
I had worked with several types of customers at one point in time who they had certain types of attractions that if they had acted on them in real life, that would be illegal and it would cause someone harm. And I've had many of them, thank me and just like be so like very just very just thankful and grateful for someone like myself, because we provide them that mental outlet.
A mental outlet to where they can come and just talk about anything with you and not get judged.
Yeah, we tend to provide a non-judgmental safe space to just be. No one picks their desires or their kinks and fetishes. Like it's just something that we just kind of are given. But it's what we do with it that really matters, especially for you know uh, certain types of people in the world. It definitely matters.
And this is where it's going to get a little controversial. We were talking before, and you brought up talking about pedophiles,
Yes.
and you think that people should hear them out rather than confine them to a room, lock them up.
Well, I mean, I think that the more that we try to act like they don't exist and that, we can just lock them all up. I think the longer that we, continue on that way, we're not finding we're that's there's no solutions there. And I feel that if we have a not necessarily like yeah, like we have an understanding for these people, meaning, understanding why they do what they do, how they came to be, so on and so forth, because 9 times out of 10, these people themselves were victims. And so it's like if we can have that understanding for them, we can get ahead of the issue before harm is caused. Whereas the way things are now, ignoring them and thinking that, they're just going to go away or at all. I mean, obviously that's not working.
So I was a victim of child abuse and child, mm, molestation, rather. You think,
Mm.
I mean, I don't go out there and molest children. So, you know, not everyone has this problem. Is it more like a mental disorder, you think, or what do you think about that?
So I think that like men not being able to be those the world that we live in today says 9 times out of 10 that men can't be raped or boys can't be raped. Boys can't be victims. And I think that because of things like that, it keeps people from speaking out, and then they hide these parts of themselves and suppress it, and then they become an adult later in life, and they find themselves in a similar situation where they are able to take back the control that they had lost in the same way.
Okay, so hear them out and see why they do what they do. Dig deep down. W- How would that help, in your opinion?
Well, again, like I said, if we continue trying to ignore that they do exist, we're not going to find any solutions at all. And in understanding them, you can then find ways to treat them. To again, like again with sex work being a form of harm reduction, allowing them to have that mental outlet while also giving them like therapy treatment, places just to kind of speak on how they feel. Because believe me, none of them wake up and want this. None of them wake up and want it. None of them wake up and enjoy having these, thoughts and these opinions and these desires. So it's like, um,
How do you know that, though?
well, I mean, I don't know it for all of them, but I mean, I've spoke to many of them, and I mean, you can. Let me tell you, you can tell that these people are very serious and not being at all happy with themselves and these desires.
Okay. Yeah. What about you? Do you think that this might be a reflection of men holding in their emotions and not expressing themselves and it coming out in different ways?
Well, yeah, most definitely. I mean, it has a lot to do with that in a sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Thank you for that. Let me ask you one more question. When was it during your sex work did you think, okay, this kind of relates to harm reduction in a sense?
Um, well, yeah, again, like they were thanking me and they're very grateful and so on and so forth, and it just like I realized that I'm saving lives, really. I mean, like I'm preventing real world harm by allowing these people to take up my mental space, and allowing them that safe space, to explore these fantasies and desires in a safe, contained environment between two consenting adults.
And that way
I
they
mean,
can express it and leave it and put it out there on the table to
yeah,
where hopefully it won't manifest in a
it's
different
not suppressing because
way.
because when they suppress, and suppression then turns into isolation, and in isolation, that's where it festers, and it grows, and that's where normally real world harm starts,
Yep.
is in isolation. So
And that's where monsters are made.
allowing them to exactly, and allowing them that, again, non-judgmental safe space between two consenting adults. I mean, it's definitely, I think, harm reduction at its finest.
Hmm. That's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's move on to our next segment, the Ferret Files. Enjoy, guys. The Ferret Files.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, something's missing.
Huh?
Come on, guys. The show's about to start.
Oh, that's what I was forgetting. Coming!
All right. And we're just going to do 2 segments, one after the other. This is AMA Ask Me Anything.
Ask me anything.
Remember, you can send me your AMA Ask Me Anything if you go to Sophuckit.com. It'll just click on the little link and it'll take you straight to where you can ask me anything. You don't have to put in an email. It's completely anonymous. Who do you miss the most? That took me out like off guard. I don't know if I miss anybody right now. What were you going to say, Awfully?
Rap artist Nipsey Hussle is somebody who I miss very much. Who's doing a lot of really good in this world, and was sadly murdered in front of his store in California.
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. What happens when you're a leader and an icon for positiveness and trying to change this world is often powers that be got to take you out to their plans.
I hate that. Yeah, it's such a cruel world, and that is true. Roxy, who do you miss the most, if anyone?
The first person that comes to mind for me is my slightly intoxicated twin, Jessica. She
Oh,
passed of a dose many years ago, and but yeah, she was my slightly intoxicated twin. That's what we called ourselves. We were the Sits. That
oh. Well, shout out to her.
was one of my besticles.
Oh. We have also a question someone asked, are you looking to date anyone? No, I'm not. I know some of you know that I had something, a boyfriend, if you will, but I don't know what we are right now. Well, Awfully, what about you? Are you looking to date anyone?
Right now, I'm kind of just sludding it up, but I'm always open for something, serious, and I'm not sure what direction that would take, if it would be more monogamous or more poly route. I do have kind of some issues with both, kind of both a little troublesome to me. Hard for me to look at monogamy and think that, I love this person so much, so I want to make sure that I'm all the love that they receive. Like, I think if you love someone, you would want them to experience more love. There's all kinds of different types of love and types of love making and all these things. And so I think to limit one person's intimacy to just yourself is much more selfish than it is loving. And I've never been in a polyamorous relationship, so I'm not sure exactly, how those work, but I just know that I'm really loving sticking so much on the whole monogamous way of thinking along those routes. I've I'm very strong in compersion and believing that, you should find joy in seeing the person you love have experiences and enjoy themselves. I think that that's a huge thing. Like, you look at your best friend and think, my best friend, I want them to get out there and go have all the sex they possibly can. But the person who I love more than anything in the world, I want them to only have sex with me because that's how much I love them. It just doesn't make sense.
That's an interesting take. Roxy, what about you? Are you looking to date anyone?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No,
Yeah, that
no.
about sums that up. That's yeah. Um, so awfully, how are you?
I am very well. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. And you wanted to talk about how you relate to the song A Boy Named Sue from Johnny Cash. Tell me about that. And first tell our listeners about the song.
Yeah, so Boy Named Sue is a really raucous jam by Johnny Cash. It was originally written by a children's author and poet, Shel Silverstein. I imagine when he wrote it, it was probably called A Boy Named Shel. He wrote it in reflection of his own childhood through his unique name. Once Johnny Cash got a hold of it, he made it into a very big country rock hit song. Um, the song itself pretty much mainly focuses around a big bar fight in which it is Johnny getting in a big old fight with his father. And his absent father he hasn't seen in many years. And he's mad at him because he named him Sue. That's why he wanted to fight him. And when they get done gashing around in their big old fight, when Johnny learns that the reason his dad did name him Sue is because he knew he wasn't going to be around during his childhood, and he wanted to make sure that he grew up tough, so he gave him a name that he would get picked on and bullied for. That would force him to kind of become tough and to grow his hide thick and protect himself. So I can relate with that song with a kind of ambiguous name, a gender ambiguous name like Casey. I've definitely dealt with some of that, some teasing and stuff like that. Not as much as if my name was Sue, I'm sure. But I think just naturally I've always been, inside who I am, I think I'm very feminine energy. I am a straight cis male, but I've always felt very aligned with the feminine energy, or at least very in touch with my feminine side at the very least. Like a lot of people would describe Kurt Cobain as being. I had a hard time getting relating with the other boys in school. Never really cared much more about sports or wanting to work on cars or work out in the garage. None of that stuff really ever interested me and still does not to this day. I'm a poet, I'm a songwriter. I care about music and making love. I don't care about stuff like that. So, Boy Named Sue, I think it pushes, this whole agenda that boys need to be big and strong and they need to be fighters, otherwise they're going to get taken advantage of into this world. And I try to think that that's not as much of the case as it maybe once used to be, and that we should move away from that as much as we can as a society. That I've never been one for violence, anything like that. I've been in plenty of fights. I've been punched a lot. I've given very few back. I don't feel that that's a good way of communicating. I figure there's a lot better ways of communicating our emotions than such infantile,
I agree.
animalistic forms like that. I think that there's definitely a place for strong masculinity, maybe even toxic masculinity. We do need protectors in this world. We need people who will stand up and be there to keep aggressors away from our communities and stuff like that. But as a whole, we don't need nearly as much as we are putting out into the world right now.
I agree. You personally, you felt more on the feminine side. Did you grow up with a father telling you, hey, you need to suck your emotions in, don't show emotions, you need to be a man?
Be it positive or negative, I pretty much raised myself from about 7, and I always had my father would get home from work, once it got dark or something like that, and he'd be around. But other than that, I wasn't really guided or cared for. I had a stepmom, but she wasn't like a mother figure or anything like that. She was like another person in the house. So just pretty much get out of school, and I'd be free to do whatever I wanted all day until about the time when the street lights came on. And because of that, I feel like I kind of learned a unique way of understanding the world. I quickly learned that my decisions and my actions really only affected me. If I made stupid, poor decisions, it was gonna end up being me who it bit in the ass. So I very quickly kind of gained morals that way. But I feel like being free to express myself that way without having a father tell me, be tough, or a mother tell me, be soft. I kind of was able to just go out in the world and be and exist. And I think, what a wonderful world we live in if we didn't tell boys that, you need to wear blue, girls need to wear pink, which, those color roles are really only about 100 years old anyways. Then those colors were about swapped.
Hey,
Used to dress
real men wear
boys.
pink.
I do agree with that. Pink, my favorite color, especially hot pink. And I feel like, what if we just let children be children? If a boy likes that Barbie, he can play with that Barbie, and if a girl likes playing with that football, go ahead and you can wear whatever color you want. If you want to wear a skirt, go ahead. And we just let children be children. I think it's so silly for us to try to tell children that they need to stick in these roles, and children never understand them either. They're like, why? Why can't I wear this, Mama? Why can't I play with this ball? I don't understand. And it really makes no sense. And I see it as only being harmful. I think if we just let children be children, we'd have a lot less harmful things. And I think that people would get to be exactly who they wanted to be without being forced. And I think then we'd really have a world of true thinkers and true leaders and humans.
I agree. Good outtake on that. I agree a lot. What about let's go back to your rapping, like you did at the beginning. Where have you gotten in your music? Have you gotten anywhere?
Not in very little places. That's the goal is to get places that I'm not doing very well. My goal has always been to just reach people. And, when I got into this, I did it so I could try to make the world a little better place than it was today. And I knew I was never going to be a platinum top 40 rapper. I knew you're never going to turn on your radio and hear my music. That is never why I set out to do it. I set out to make good music that's going to affect people and hit them in their heart and soul and make them want to radiate more sunshine and happiness back out into the world.
That's the best
Each one
one.
teach one. Yeah, I think like if we can just, even if I just reach one person and that person can do some great, I feel like I've accomplished my goal. So I don't have great lofty dreams. I just know that I'm here to make music, rock the mic, and do my best. And the rest of it is kind of out of my hands. We'll see who I can reach and what they can do. But it's all about being the change you wish to see in yourself and shining that good positivity and love.
Yep, that's what I try to strive to with this podcast to do, try to reach as many people as I can. And if I can keep one bullet out of that one person's head, then I've done my job. And allowing people to know that they have a place where they can come up and just be themselves and say, so fuck it, let it all out there and heal with us. Like that's my goal. And seems like you have the similar goal in mind with your music. For now, you just rap a little something again.
So here I am, drunk again. Crazy occurrence. Feel like I've been faded since they gave me a permit. Trying to act presentable and not bother the hookers while I'm on this downward spiral that all started with sugar. I used to snort pixie sticks and chase it with Kool-Aid. That was back in my ignorant and gave a fuck school days. Never too late. Flip a finger in full fate. For all we know, this could be the last night we have till doomsday. Pardon me, I live my life in a comatose variety. Let's get really fucked up and overdose in sobriety. While I feel the ghost, let me propose a toast to society. Please forgive me for not fitting so neatly behind your scenes. I've been an outcast, back before outcast was the greatest. I can't explain it, and every one of you now has failed to change it. Until we figure out how to fix the glitches in the matrix, I'll be in reality, while you strive to digitally recreate it.
Wow. Very good. And you wrote that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So let's go ahead and move on to So Fuck It or Face It. So fuck it or face it. So this is how this works. I don't know if you guys know or have played this or have heard how to play this yet, but basically I give a scenario and you have to say whether you so fuck it, which means so fuck it, you don't want nothing to do with it, or face it, which means you're all in, no fucks given. You're gonna go for it. Roxy. Okay, share a moment when you almost said or did something you shouldn't have to a whole classroom of children. So fuck it or face it.
I'm gonna say so from that.
You're always supposed to say what?
You know, I almost slip. I don't want to almost slip up and say something in front of like a classroom full of kids. No, you're good on that.
So you're gonna say
Fuck
so
it.
fuck it.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna face that. Yeah, I'm not gonna face that.
Okay. Awfully. Let someone guess your type and then tell them if they're right. Now, this is not just someone, this is your crush. So fuck it or face it.
I'll face it. I don't have many fears.
All right. All right. Let's do one more each. Roxy. Admit when you meet someone new what instantly grabs your attention when you meet them. So fuck it or face it.
Normally, it would be like their energy, like the vibe, or their hands.
So you'd face it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that one's not so bad. All right. Awfully. Tell a story to the world about a time the tension was obvious, but nothing happened in your sex life. So fuck it or face it.
Well, face it. Not. The tension was very strong, but nothing really happened. Did have a date a few months ago, and we were talking very hot and heavy on one of the dating apps, and ended up driving like 2 hours to my house. I could cook dinner for us and stuff. Got there pretty late, about 8 o'clock she got there, and I had just gotten back from the store, so I hadn't started cooking yet, and I knew it was going to take about 2 hours at least to have dinner, from vegetables unchopped and stuff to actually a hot served meal at the end. At least an hour for prep and at least an hour for cooking. So I knew that it was going to be late, so I wanted to jump towards starting the cooking right away, knowing that we weren't going to eat until at least 10:30 as it was already. I was just trying to be, considerate of that and courteous. And kind of jumped in that, and we were having a great conversation, and it seemed we were getting along wonderful. We were connecting on a lot of things, activism-minded, talking about Palestine and lots of different things, and started a nonprofit and is doing some wonderful work in the community. Yeah, so she also has a community garden she tends to that helps feed the homeless around her. And I thought all of this was wonderful, and thought we were very attracted to each other. And we were flirting around, and there was some touching and stuff like that. And so I thought everything was going amazingly well. In my mind, we were going to sit down and have a wonderful dinner, and then probably have some really great sex. And this had kind of turned to an interesting night when she was telling me that how before she was doing her community garden, she used to be setting up grow houses for marijuana all across the country. And so I said, oh, well, must be pretty versed in cannabis, do you want to smoke? And she said, yeah, I can take a couple hits. So I loaded up the bong. We took 2 hits each. I thought everything was still going great, and all of a sudden she kind of took a really strong turn, and she must have gotten really stoned. She just said, I think I'm going to go. And I was very confused. I knew dinner wasn't even served yet. I mean, it was just about cooked. So I was like, want to go? And she said, yeah, I'm not feeling very comfortable. I think I should leave. I was like, okay, well, do you want to eat first? And, she's arguing about that. And she's like, oh, well, I thought it wasn't done. And I was like, no, it's just about done. And wanted to check everything. And she was looking at the chicken. I'm like, yeah, I have a meat thermometer. But you could see it was pulling right apart and looking at the potatoes. She's like, the potatoes can't be done. And I'm like, yep, they're soft. They're all ready to go. We can eat right now. And so I ended up making her a tiny little plate. And she ate some. And she's still at the end, wanted to go. And so I absolutely, I was like, okay, well, wonderful seeing you and getting to meet you finally, and wished her well for tonight and watched as she left, And I wanted to purposely wait until she had left the property to know that she was safe and that her answer, she could answer with her own validity and be herself, not have to worry about her answers affecting me anymore. And then I wanted to ask her, once she was, well off of the property, ask her I don't really understand what just happened. If there was anything that I did that was scary or threatening or dangerous in any way, please share that with me. If not for my own sake, then for any other woman who might go on a date for me sake, so that I can know what kind of behaviors to avoid and stuff like that. And she didn't have anything like that to say, thankfully, so that was good to hear. But I guess she just got too stoned and in her head and decided, I'm freaking out. I got to get out of here.
Wow.
That was very interesting. Yeah, everything was leading up really well to then. And then I kind of talked to her about it. I was like, a little later, said, we talk so hot and heavy on the app. I was kind of expecting that to be more like that when we were in person. And I was just like, well, when was I supposed to fuck you? I mean, I jumped right into cooking dinner. I mean, I can't do both at once.
I mean, I
I
whined
could've
and
tried.
dined you. Come on, at least let me get some,
Yeah, I tried. So, sometimes it feels like, and it might be men and women both feel like this, but I know I feel like that as a man, that it's kind of, we have to kind of tiptoe and walk on eggshells to figure out exactly how we should act. If we come on too strong at first, then we're kind of creepy. And if we don't come on strong enough, then we're kind of prude or lame. And it's very difficult to know. And women are so different and vast and unique that when we go on these different dates, it's nearly impossible for us to know, okay, what does this one want? Does this one want me to just pounce on her? Does this one want me to show her space and treat her like a lady? I mean, what? And I'm just not naturally intuitive like that. I think I have some autism and stuff like that. And so I try to figure this stuff out in the world, but I just don't know. And I'm very dense. And ladies, if you just tell me.
I think it comes
have better-
down to just if two people have chemistry. I think that you're looking too far into it. And I think that you are trying too hard. I think if you just focus on whether or not you and the woman have chemistry or not, that's all.
Absolutely.
And I know that you're not the only one that thinks too much about it.
That's good to hear.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode of the Sophuckit podcast. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
Life is love. God is love. It's all love.
Yep, it's all love. It's all love and Sophuckit. A huge shout out to Roxi Wylde and a huge shout out to Awfully. Thank you both for being here. If tonight's talk opened your eyes or made you think twice, why don't you share this and subscribe? Because that's how change starts. If you like this podcast, if you want to help us out and help us grow, you can donate at Sophuckit.com. If you want to be on the show as a guest speaker, you can also book on Sophuckit.com. You can find every episode, bonus content, and ways to support the show at Sophuckit.com. Everything about the show is on Sophuckit.com. Easy enough, huh? Until next time, stay real, stay bold, and whatever you do, so fuck it. Bye, guys.
Listen to Made of Almost on YouTube.
It's awesome.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Who am I? I'm just a guy with a plan, trying to change the world with this mic in my hand. People wonder why I dedicate my life to this, but deep down, I feel it's why I exist. When I started out, I was trying to find my bliss, just experimenting like a scientist. But now saving this planet is my dying wish. I just hope that a few of you can vibe to this. I admit, I ain't been the best of role models. Messed around with drugs and drank the whole bottle. I'm not the type of act that the kids should go follow, but now I'm trying to live my life by my own motto. See, all I need is one mic stand, and to me, that's better than a one-night stand. I done learned a lot in this young lifespan to know how to save this rock, which is one right plan.
This is for the flowers who grew from the cracks of the concrete that was set for holding us back. Somebody should have told them we were born to succeed. They tried to bury us, but didn't know we were seeds. This is for the flowers who no one believed, and because of our resilience, we're labeled as weeds. They try to kill our roots, yet we stand defiant.